Hello there, folks. Welcome back to ESA Winter 21. We are raising money for Alzheimer Fondant. Links to donate can be found below the stream. We would also like to thank Koi Tecmo Europe for Neo 2, the complete edition, Twitch, and ViewSonic for sponsoring this event. Before we get started, we've received another $10 from Complex Beaver, who says, Girl Power Strats. Good luck, Cider. 20 more for Zero Cycle. So thank you very much indeed for that. And with that, we'll send you over to the runner for this run, which is going to be Cynaschism with Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Please take it away.
All right, thank you. Welcome, guys. This is HP3, and I'm running on the PC. This is not the same game as on the consoles, for reference. So here we go. We're going to count down in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so I am running 100%. So this is about an hour and a half long category. We started with a good minute and a half cutscene, getting introduced to Train and the characters and whatnot. So in 100%, we do a lot of collectathon stuff. We have to buy all the passwords from Fred George's shop. We have to collect all the challenge shields in not only the 3 spell challenges we do, but also their respective final exams. You'll see that at the end of the run. We also have to collect all the wizard cards and find all the secrets. Each level has a couple secret rooms we open up and discover. And then as part of getting all 80 wizard cards, we have to do like 3 side challenges. Monster Book Monsters, Pixies, and Buckbeak, where there is a Buckbeak flying obstacle course we do. There's 5 levels of those, and there's 5 waves of the other 2 side challenges, but we'll get to that in due time. Train is pretty much a straightforward level. We actually don't do anything special actually, there's nothing special about it.
There's one special thing.
Oh, there's one special thing.
Yeah, so there's a trick right here that he's going to do that involves jumping on a piece of luggage to get over a cutscene trigger. Something interesting. This is one of 3 tricks or 3 spots in the game where the graphic settings we're playing on actually matters. If we're not on the highest settings, this luggage just doesn't exist.
And see, we just jumped on a luggage that was supposed to be there after the cutscene, but we didn't trigger the cutscene, so... we call it scabbard skip. Yeah, 7-second time save. If you notice there, I pressed shift mid ledge grab animation to actually cancel the ledge grab. It's a little faster, it's an optimization. We do that sporadically throughout the run. Important note about hitting shift during a ledge grab though is you don't want to do on certain blocks, because you can actually clip through them if they're hollow, and you can softlock that way. Coming up is another piece of speed tech we like to call turn casting. Basically, what we're trying to cast is behind this door, but instead of trying to open the door first, we're honestly just going to go to the wardrobe and turn into it, being able to cast what's behind it, just like that. We do this several times. It's pretty cool, pretty neat. It was actually found because one of the runners was mad about losing a run, and part of his fit, he just somehow did that.
He flicked his mouse, and a level we'll see later.
There's a few spots in the run where we use that turn casting. That particular spot on the train, we also found months before we realized we could do it anywhere else in the game. So good job, us.
Go team.
Go team. Alright, so we encounter Malfoy. I don't know how they just let Malfoy just walk around them after this and close the door on them, but he does, and we get introduced to Monster Book of Monsters. There's a little bit of RNG here. The book's about to spawn pages that we have to fight, and the book has a collective pool of health. The amount of pages that despawn is the RNG, so... Oh, we only despawned 1 page, so... We only lose 2 seconds. Each page that doesn't despawn, or doesn't spawn, we lose 2 seconds. And another weird quirk about fighting things collectively is the first page, or the first cast aggroes the page, doesn't deal damage. You have to actually hit it again to actually deal damage. The thing is, if either two CPU characters deal the second hit, they do significantly less damage than you. So you don't want them getting the second hit off. It's kind of a weird quirk. So that was the first card. Introduction to cards. It was 80 in the game, like I mentioned. And the last part of train is a little loud section here. We're gonna hit some Depulsos in random order. There's 3 Depulsos. Not much time variance, so this is pretty straightforward. But after this is a little piece of speed tech. So skipping cutscenes in this game is different from HP2. HP2, Nixo was able to just hold down the cutscene skip key and skip it on the first frame. In this game, you can't hold down the skip cutscene key beforehand. You have to spam it at the right time, or hit it at the right time. But what's also interesting about this game is you can actually there's tech in skipping cutscenes faster, and we have to spam the cutscene key certain ways to get certain cutscenes to skip faster. And sometimes it's just RNG, and sometimes it's consistent. So this one is pretty consistent. You wait till the audio cuts out, and then you can hit the key again and skip like that.
Ron and Hermione were delighted to be back at Hogwarts.
So yeah,
Harry's encounter
we got a cutscene going into the Carpe classroom before the spell challenges, and we have time for a couple donations.
Fantastic, thank you very much, because we have some. We have $20 from Nixo, who's the runner on the previous run there. Thanks for having some Harry Potter in this. Can't wait to see Cyna do his HP3 run now. Best of luck. Well, thank you very much indeed for that, Nixo. Miller Hontis donates $5. First, good luck, Cyna. Secondly, Zero Cycle. I'll put 20 more on top of Beavers. Bless RNG. And finally, again, $15, Complex Beaver. Oh, hi, Mylan. Hi, Annie. Thank you very much indeed for all those generous donations.
Zero Cycle is mentioned a couple of times. It's later in the round. We'll get to that.
We'll get to it.
So, Carpe Retractum is a great spell that we can abuse. The spell tech is you basically turn into Tarzan. That's the simplest way I can put it. You'll find out in, I don't know, like 30 seconds. We'll just listen to this explanation. And remember, I have to get all 10 shields to get to the Bean bonus room. As we like to say it.
To pull yourself towards something?
And we also collect. There's actually currencies in this game to buy passwords. I'll explain that after this jump. This first swing was good. That jump cast is another piece of speed tech. We want to cancel. We want to cancel animations. And jumping in the air as you cast allows you to cancel it when you hit the ground. So you guys can explain the currencies and how what we're collecting.
Okay, yeah. So as part of buying the 80 wizard cards, we actually need to collect a lot of the different currencies. So we need over 400 of these pumpkin pasties that we're gonna see in this next room. And they're pretty rare in the game. There's only 500 or 600, which kind of sounds like a lot, but a lot of them are in pretty slow places. So we're going to be spending a lot of time in this room collecting those. There's also cauldron cakes that we're going to see later on. We need 139 of them. Those aren't as important, but just because there's more, we go to more places where they spawn, but we do need to pay attention to those too.
Oh, fast cracker, let's go. Okay, a couple things happened there. The previous room, I skipped the cutscene by jumping around its trigger. In that room, we got something called fast cracker, where the imps, if you stand in a certain spot, the imp can throw the cracker through the painting, and we can kill it quickly. I'm gonna turn cast use. I failed it there. A note about the FPS in this game: we also have to cap it to 60 because if we don't, that imp in the the previous couple rooms will not move at all. Oh shoot.
Yeah, in HP2 and HP1, the frame rate matters a lot. There's a lot of little things that.
Did I get that shield? Not sure.
Yeah, you got the shield.
Okay,
You got
good.
the shield.
Okay.
There's a lot of the FPS affects a lot of things in some pretty severe ways. Like Harry's speed will just like go through the roof if you have too high of an FPS. In this game, there's only a couple of things that it affects, and they aren't super significant. Aside from that one imp room can softlock, and you can sometimes clip through the floor on a particular room. Then there's one wall that just doesn't exist anymore when you're above 60 FPS. So.
And you can also softlock in Glacier's Final as well.
It can shoot fire out of
It's
its
another place.
Yeah, if you somehow manage to get past the imp freeze, you can softlock and Glacier's Final. That room with the big swing, that force shield swing, is one of the crazier swings we do in the game.
Yeah, so the game developers didn't intend for you to like move as you cast on a Carpet Retractum statue. So obviously, like, we can abuse momentum to be able to like go across large gaps really, really fast, and so we're basically Tarzan. There's not much to say on that.
Couple swings there.
Also
Couple more
feel like we
swings
should
here.
give the obligatory, these are much harder than they actually look.
Yes, this
These
is
take
much
a
harder.
ridiculous amount of practice to get consistent. It's really easy to get launched in the air. It's really hard to get launched in the air exactly where you want to go.
That was a really clean starting section, though. It really clean.
Yeah. Okay, these crabs have bad physics. When you hit them, they tend to push themselves up, and the great like height clearance is so low that they can hit the top and bounce back. So you kind of want to hit them in a certain way. Another swing there.
Yeah, so normally you're
them to go
supposed to
around.
like go to the end and then go all the way back around, but you can just like use the statue to get all the way up. It's kind of crazy.
So yeah, instead of going all the way around, we just skip right up above us. Another swing to get to the end. Oh, I got held up a bit. Probably hit it too late. We can skip that save book if I jumped over it. Not big of a deal though. Okay, imps. Imps are annoying.
Yeah, imps are kind of random. They're not. They can be manipulated in some subtle ways.
Like the beginning of the room, we have a clear strat, but if they deviate from what you expect them to do, then their behavior we don't know. It's random. Good luck trying to get them to a crackers fast.
We have a lot of ways to basically knock them out in like pairs, but getting anything faster than that is just pray to the RNG gods that it'll work.
Sometimes you'll get lucky with how the imps are set up, so you can get like multi-kills. And so like we're gonna see like later, like when we went to Paddock, for example, like getting multi-kills there is really, really helpful to like getting faster times. So like
Okay, we completed Carpet Challenge. We get to the Beam bonus room, but psych, we're not gonna collect anything there because we don't need it. There's no extra currencies that we need to get from that room, so we can just.
Yeah.
For some reason, the devs put a trigger to just leave the Beam bonus room there, and we found it. So.
Whenever. Oh yeah, this is an important trick. We
Fred
can
and George
skip a good 2-minute section by just jumping into this corner, and it gives us just enough height to get over.
So instead of following Fred and George and being introduced to like the rest of the castle and being introduced to Peeves, we don't have to fight Peeves for the first time, or getting introduced to their shop, we just go outside because that's where the next part of the game takes.
so the one caveat to doing that trick is we can't use portrait passwords to travel around the castle. But like obviously we've like designed the route so that you can follow a linear path and it will still be like you'll still have a lot of time saved by going for Fred and George skip.
Yeah, and at the end too, where the gate might still be up and active when it shouldn't be. So, but we can get around that.
For all of you being bonus room hopefuls, don't worry. We will be
Don't
coming
worry.
back. We will be staying longer.
We'll be getting all the beans.
All the beans. Yeah, so we need close to over 2,000 beans by the end of the game to again be able to buy all of the cards that we need to like hit the 80 mark. And so like obviously like we need to get a lot of beans from the bean bonus room.
The good thing is though, we don't usually worry about the bean count because there's so many beans in our way that we didn't have to do any like extra routing for the beans. It's more about the pumpkins and the cauldron cakes we had to do some routing with. They're more sparse. So like these pumpkins and these cakes would go out of the way to get. And the count looks good. We can spam this cutscene key to skip this cutscene quickly and hopefully... Okay, good, I didn't clip through the floor. Rarely you can clip through the floor skipping that cutscene.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
This is probably a good time for donations.
Yes, good time for
Some
donations.
Excellent, because again, we have a couple for you. We have a Run Like AJ donating another $10. Cena, why would you kindly summon Ron in both Bean bonus rooms? Okay, thanks.
got
Also, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Also, picking the Hunter category is smart, since otherwise you can easily pull an AJ in the library.
Oh.
And we've also received $30 from Flo203, who says, Bibble, Bibble, Bibble! Thank you very much indeed for those very generous donations. Remember, all your donations go towards Alzheimer's Fondant, so please keep them coming in. Thank you.
Okay, so Buckbeak. There's 5 courses in all. We have to do all of them eventually. The game makes us do this course now. The great thing is we don't have to do the rest of them now. We can get back to these courses at the end of the run where the routing is better. So, you know, at the end of each course we get a wizard card. That's why we have to do them. Contributes to the 80 wizard cards. What those people were mentioning were a softlock and another game quirk that makes no sense. That, you know, that lost me a 1 runs, but
We don't talk about it.
we don't talk. Well, maybe we could talk
Yeah,
about
maybe
it.
we can talk about it.
But yeah, that was the first course. We have to just tie the score to get the wizard card. We don't even have to beat the high score in the top right.
A collector's card.
Yeah. Coming up is a great cutscene. We'll just watch and enjoy. I'm sure you guys will get a good laugh.
And you can win a collector's card.
And after we do more skip cutscene tech. So.
I bet you're not dangerous at all, are you? Be great having
Are you gonna go for library multitask?
I'm dying. Look at me.
No.
It's
No?
killed me.
I don't know. I don't know. Saves 8 seconds.
Do you think you'll be alright? Of course. Madam Pomfrey can make cuts in about
So yeah,
a second.
Buckbeak just smacks down Malfoy and then he just gets up like nothing happened. Classic. Okay. Here for the audio, spam spacebar and cutscene a couple times, and we skip that cutscene fast enough so we see Ron warping. I don't know, behind us.
Yeah, that cutscene, if you just mash the cutscene skip button, takes about 8 seconds, and sometimes has the chance to be, like, infinitely long. But if you mash space for some reason, you can get it down to 2 seconds. So, 6 seconds of time saved just for skipping cutscenes better.
It's funny because like that like randomly happened to me on 1 run, and then like Flo, who commentated the last run, ended up finding a consistent or semi-consistent way of being able to get it, which was to basically press space with the right amount of timing and then mash it in such a way that you can just like get control of Harry back even before like the camera's even ready for you. But yeah, we're fighting Peeves.
For the only time in this run. Normally, if you did this game without any like glitches or speed tech, you would fight him like 3 times. We only fight him once. We already skipped the first encounter. We're gonna skip the 3rd encounter pretty easily, as you'll find out when we get there.
It's easy to be brilliant.
So that was Peeves. Pretty simple. Co-op casting. This is a mechanic that was introduced that's different from HP2. There are a lot more levels with co-op casting, and sometimes the other characters do not like to cooperate. And yeah, another cutscene. I want you guys to spam Herm faces. I'm not looking at chat, but Herm faces in chat, please.
Are there any questions?
Okay. So this is the transfer classroom. We're going to be learning how to control bunnies and dragons.
At will. A werewolf cannot control its transformation. Now for today's lesson.
I think we're good on count.
And Lepifor's spells. Miss Granger, perhaps you'd grace the class by having a go at the exercise I've prepared.
I think we have time for a donation or two.
If you'll just step through this door.
Okay, yep, that sounds fantastic. We have received another $5 from Complex Beaver. When is Octokill on Back in Time? Also, and I don't quite understand what this means, but I'm sure you'll enlighten us.
Yeah.
Bring back B. Thank you very much indeed, Complex Beaver, for the very generous donations.
Yes, I think he's referring to something in the final exam. Okay, this is the bunny mechanic. In general, it's faster to jump across the rooms than it is to walk. So, you know, we're literally bunny hopping. If you've watched other speedruns, you would get that. Okay, so there's a card in this statue. Very important to get it. We can't. I don't think we can buy back any of the cards we miss. So we have to get them.
There's some permanently missable cards that you can buy back, but the ones in spell challenges, because we can re-enter them, we cannot buy them. So if we miss one, we have to redo the entire challenge.
Yes. Okay. And we just saw there was a turn cast, a casual use of it, and I got the cake behind the statue. Another tech with the bunny we can do is ride walls. Like, literally ride their slope. So, this wall right here. Some will tell you this is slower. I mean, it's more consistent than another strat they want to do, which is called pot jump. This room introduces another, probably the craziest speed tech we only use twice in the run, but it's called lag jumps. Basically, right after we jump, if we make the game lag enough, we can extend our jump distance by like units. But in this case, it's enough to skip having to cast up this dragon. And we do this 2 times in this room.
This trick actually has a kind of long history. We have like 5 or 6 different ways of getting enough lag to cross the gap, and each of them are inconsistent in their own ways.
Yes.
So this trick has been banned at times, it's been re-allowed at times, it's been partially banned at times, just because of how inconsistent it can be on different, especially different strength computers. Trying to keep the pay-to-win aspects out of speedrunning.
I think in that room, those 2 lag jumps combined save like, what was it, 15 seconds?
Yeah.
10 to 15.
10 to 15.
And there's one later on that saves a decent chunk as well.
Saves like 6 or something.
Yeah, so for that particular lag jump, I held down print screen to create the lag. Basically, you just create a bunch of screenshots in quick succession. Okay, here's another turn cast use. So instead of using the dragon, we want to just like turn cast, and what's behind it is a statue that unlocks the pathway to get the secret, which is actually at the bottom of this room. The bottom of the room counts as a secret, so
that's actually the hardest turn cast in the game because of just how thick the wall is and how finicky the trigger is to hit the knight behind there. But shoutouts to Mark for finding that. It saves close to like 15 seconds because you don't have to cast on the 3rd flame to open up the secret room as another thing. So yeah.
couple of shift, fletch grab skips there on those blocks. You can softlock on those blocks, as I mentioned. You can clip if you press it too soon. But yeah, we're good. Here is an enemy that we only face once, called Bundyman. Yeah, I mean, you simply just have to jump on it and it dies. Cast on it first, of course. And then it dies. Like this. Get the cake, get those pumpkins. And yeah, I don't think we see that enemy for the rest of the run. Unless you're slow in Transfig Final and you get them to spawn. So yeah, here's our, go to here. We have to get to the secret so we can spawn this challenge shield. Here is another imp room. We have, hopefully I can get this quickly. Again, when they throw crackers is whenever they feel like. Ooh, got a triple, nice. Oh baby, a triple. Okay, so that was okay. That last imp was, you know, not ideal. Hit these dragon heads. We're gonna get a bunch of things from these dragon heads. Card, cakes, pumpkins, and a shield. Kind of get everything in one room. And here is a maze skip. Hopefully I get this quickly. First try, nice.
So to anybody who played this game as a kid, you might wonder why there's an Alohomora sign on a room that you can't enter. We're still not exactly sure, but with some of the speed tech we actually have a way to get Hermione stuck in that room now. So we can actually open that door and get out. One of those little things that always, like, traumatized me as a kid is why on earth is there a sign there when you can't get in?
No.
I think they just predicted the future, I don't know.
Oh, I gotta get that cake. So what I did there was, the beginning of the room was called maze skip. Use the door to jump to the end quickly. And yeah, that was Transfig Final. Or not Transfig Final, that was the challenge. Excuse me.
You've collected all 10 challenge shields.
So we collect all the challenge shields, which means the bean bonus room.
A brain.
The bean bonus room. So there's a timer. It's a set timer. No slower, no faster. We get all the currencies that we need in this room. So I'll do the thing AJ told me to do and spawn an extra Ron. You'll see what I mean after. But as I'm collecting these things, there's time for several donations.
Okay, fantastic. We have a couple of donations here for you. We have $30 from Dino95HD, who says, Harry Potter hype. Good luck with the run, Cena. Thank you very much indeed for that. And $5 from Dead Saber, who says, hello, I've heard this run contains a flying, roaring, burn down the village sort of dragon. Very excited to see it. Good luck to all runners. Well, thank you very much indeed for your donations. Remember, please keep them coming in, folks. All of your donations go towards the Swedish Alzheimer's Foundation, Alzheimerfonden. So please keep those donations coming in. We've currently raised $27,575 for that amazing cause. So please, please, if you can, it all is all greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for everyone who's been donating so far. So yeah, getting these pumpkins and cakes. After I do this, after I collect all the pumpkins we need and the cakes we need. So you know that trigger I used to skip the Carpe's beam bonus room? Well, it's still there. It's just for a different use.
Wow! This is the bean bonus.
I'm gonna try to collect beans like this.
Collect as many goodies as you can before the time runs out.
Oh my gosh.
So there's actually two triggers in this room that are on both sides of that little hallway. They're in both this and the next beam bonus room that we can use to, like, play some weird and funny little cutscenes. But we can only get out of the first beam bonus room, which is also kind of convenient because it's the only one that contains
It takes a while to
just
come back
beans.
like that.
It has only beans, so there's no reason to stay because we have already like all the beans we need just by doing 2 of these. So it's just like the game developers, they just know that we're trying to go fast. So
This game has a lot of epic, quotable dialogue, and that was one of them. You mean the flying, roaring, burn down the village sort of dragon? No.
Even though the
Oh,
following morning was
shame.
stormy,
Oh, shame.
Harry was excited to be playing in
Okay,
Best
that was-
Quidditch in all of the Harry Potter games, right here. Absolute top-notch Quidditch.
It is 100% consistent.
we
Everyone
need,
can do this.
we need serious time here.
I need serious time here. This is controls are very finicky, but this is 100% consistently fast. It is impossible to lose more than a second. What was the variance you get from using the auto splitter on
It's
this
a
cutscene?
couple of frames.
Yeah, it's a few frames.
Yeah.
That's funny.
We still haven't quite figured that out yet.
You lose 0.5.
Yeah, never more than a second, but you can lose time here. It's
Also, why are the Dementors spawning from the floor and Harry's falling up from the sky? Shouldn't they be spawning in the sky? Anyway,
Alright.
that was Quidditch.
Serious time
I
over.
know. Applause. Hold your applause.
Yeah, no, that that was very, very well done, Senna. I'm proud of
Thank
you.
I played brilliantly, as the narrator said. Okay, we are introduced to Expecto Patronum. No, not ridiculous. Expecto Patronum. This is for the Dementors. We first do like one of those like mini carnival games where you like smash the thing and you see how hard you can hit the button. Same thing here, but just the Expecto Patronum. I don't know what it's called. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, do that 3 times, and then we collect some cakes and pasties from these skull heads.
So, I believe Nixo mentioned at the end of the last run that Aragog is incredibly loud in HP2 because he's on a different, like, inaccessible volume slider. The Dementors in this game are actually the same situation. Their volume is not tied to the regular game volume. It can't be changed. So, if you, like, turn down your game volume using the in-game settings, these guys get really loud.
That's why I tend to use the volume mixer when adjusting audio for this game, because you don't want that loud, that discrepancy. It's really jarring.
Saving your ears.
Saving your ears.
I feel like it makes the game more exciting, though. It's on the edge of your seat.
But then you can't hear me as I'm trying to explain all the cool things you do with Expecto Patronum, and well, sort of drowns my voice out. Okay. Yeah, notice how these are boggarts, but we still have to use Expecto Patronum. Oh no, it's a trap! That's okay. 3 Dementors, and that's the tutorial level. We're gonna spam cutscene skip throughout this section here, so we can hopefully skip this cutscene fast, and we got it, nice. So this is library. When AJ mentioned doing the AJ, that means soft locking on this level, doing a skip. It refers to any percent. But 100%, it's much less likely to get soft locked unless you do a faster version of the library skip. So basically what it is, we carpet swing up here, and it's, you know, we need to get these things in this chest. We cannot, if we miss this, we're done. But we can use this
multitask.
Yeah, we're not gonna get the multitask because we want to make sure Hermione spawns on the other side of this door. And if we do it too fast, aka the multitask, and she spawns at the same side as us, that's a soft lock. We'll have to redo the level. So yeah, we play it really safe and 100%.
So this was the accidental turn cast that was found by an old runner called Respert. his run died at this point, and he got very upset. So he flicked his mouse and ended up casting the dragon through the wall. And then obviously we realized that you can do this in a lot more places, and so it's a happy little accident. And so now Cinna's going to do more monster books. So there are 5 of these that he has to do, and so it's just a vibe.
And Matt, you know how I mentioned that you want to get the second hit on every page? Yeah, this is where that comes into play, and this is where it makes or breaks this level in terms of time. Also, where they spawn and what pages they decide to cast out is also problematic. Okay, good. First 2 waves were good, 3 more waves to go. And yeah, it's basically we're spamming mouse. Anticipating the pages, spamming mouse. Hopefully the computers cooperate, and we'll be on our merry way.
Something I was going to mention in library for my dog so rudely interrupted me. The trigger that we hit there, in this game, cutscenes are like actual objects that you can physically interact with. And whenever the game starts a cutscene, it just warps you to that location to start the cutscene. There's a few of those that we can hit that do little things to save time. Like the early exit from the bonus room is one of those. You can just hit a cutscene trigger to let you leave the area early. In any percent, we use one that saves 25 minutes by letting us trigger the credits early. And there's a couple in one of the final exams that we're going to be using to save a little bit of time.
Okay, wow, that was pretty good overall. They got hit a couple of times, but I would say it was pretty decent. So we're gonna another skipping cutscene tech is to jump into the cutscenes. Sometimes that helps. But this one's like random, so it might not work. Okay, I mean, it was okay. I didn't get the fast cutscene skip.
Rip 201 monster book.
Rip 2 flat. Okay, this is my favorite spell in the game, Glacius. Basically, you know, they just freeze creatures and freeze waterfalls to make them into ice slides, as you find out.
Okay. This is the challenge that originated Cinna Depressed Dab.
So we're gonna jump into this cutscene to skip it faster. And that's a secret, but get the card. Okay, good. We get the card before the cutscene starts. And so when we get the card, we just warp out of the secret. It's a little time save optimization. If you miss it, it's not the end of the world. You just have to go back into the secret.
That's, for some reason, one of my favorite tricks in this game. That little, 2-second time save of grabbing the card and getting warped out.
Yeah, but wow! It's solid ice!
Yeah, there are times when, you forget to open the banner, so then when you try to go grab the card, it warps you back before you can grab it, so you have to go all the way back, which is very embarrassing.
But it's not the end of the world.
It is if you're Complex Beaver.
Okay, salamanders done. Okay, imps. We don't need to fight these imps, so I don't want to fight them. So yep, this is the ice slide. Would this remind you of anything, chat? Probably does. We won't name names. But yeah, there's some currencies we have to get. The only times we actually have to slow down is one of the gaps in the second half of the level and collecting one of the shields that's on the slide. The rest of the time we just go fast. So this section, they want us to fight the imps to spawn the sponge tile, but actually there's a secret room that we just skip, and then another one spawns. So we don't have to fight those imps at all. Sometimes those spell balls can proxy you forward.
Oh my
god. It's actually not good. You don't want that. You don't go fast.
We have some pretty funny clips of people getting stuck on top of them and going for a good little ride.
The pixie ride.
Pixie ride. Okay, here's one of those times I have to slow down.
12.6.
Good. Don't worry, the hitbox of that shield is really good. really big. So the side of the slides actually have the death triggers. So if you get near them, you risk getting those animations, and the game thinks you fall off the slide, even if you technically didn't. Okay, so this section is pretty simple. There's 2 side rooms. We get chests and cakes and cards from both sides.
Object detail if you haven't already.
Wait,
no, that's fine. That's right. After this. Yeah.
No, you can do it. He can do it when he's buying
I
passwords.
usually
for
do it
start.
after back in time.
I was just confused. Yeah, this room is actually the only spot in the game where you can actually save time to playing on a higher FPS. That platform that just dropped down that covers that
This
chest,
platform.
yeah, you can just walk straight through it if you are playing above 60 FPS.
I actually didn't know that. Okay, imps. We all know what that means. Hopefully they play nice.
Yeah,
Wow, that okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So again, you're gonna notice Cinna basically killed them in pairs of 2, because generally speaking, the imps try to line up with its respective pair, and so like, obviously he's gonna kill 2 at once.
That's how you kill them the most consistently, is killing in pairs of 2. So that little section was me getting a bunch of pumpkins and cakes and secrets and whatnot.
Right,
I'm
Cinna.
good on the cakes, so.
9 shield incoming.
Oh yeah, back in the day, getting 9 shield was annoying. We didn't know like how to consistently get it, because it's oscillating back and forth in the air. So like trying to like time that up, we didn't know how to time it up well. But it turns out the timing for it starts after we jump on this next slide piece. So now we just don't hold forward, and we can time this up pretty well. No more blame Nice Shield for ruining runs.
Yeah, they set up this shield so that if you're not holding up or down or anything, it looks like it's going to be like this terrifying thing to grab, and it just lines up perfectly as you fly by it to like give you the illusion of, oh, you just did something really cool. But if you're going fast, as you like to in a speedrun, you actually just completely miss the shield. So we have to take special care to slow down to make sure that we grab that at the right time.
Thankfully, it's really consistent, so we'll take it.
We're gonna see Ron again soon.
Oh,
I know
yes.
everyone wants to see Ron.
Oh, you want me to do it again?
That's what AJ said.
Oh, I mean, let me get some beans first. There's not as many pumpkins and cakes in this bean bonus room as there was in Miney's bean bonus room, but there's still a good amount. And once again, as I'm collecting them, we have time for donations.
Fantastic, because we've got plenty of love still coming through here. We have $5 from Anonymous, who says, beans, all the beans. We've received $25 from Oranges and Peaches, donating during Sinner's run, world record soon? Question. Then we've received $5 again from Complex Beaver. Oh. Shame.
Oh, shame.
Oh, shame.
And then we have Nameless with $5. I played Harry Potter 1 and 2 to death when I was younger, but Azkaban was always too hard on my poor old PC. Cool to experience it like this, and happy to contribute to the Alzheimer's Foundation while I'm at it. Well, thank you very much indeed. Remember, all your donations do go towards that fantastic cause. Please keep them coming in. We're enjoying listening to them. We're enjoying reading them. So please keep donating. Thank you very much.
It's like really funny. Like when I like played this game back in like 2007 or something, like I was on HP Pavilion, the loading screen would take like 5 minutes. It would take me 5 minutes just to like go to a new map every time. And then so I just gave up after Carpa. But like nowadays with like PCs and all, it's like pretty fast.
It's kind of wacky playing these games on modern computers, because I also remember we've talked with some of the devs for HP2, and they've mentioned like, yeah, we were just absolutely thrilled whenever we could get 30 FPS out of the game. So the fact that we can hit like 600 on a modern PC is just absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. I actually got the world record for this category like 2 weeks ago. Beat it by 2 seconds. So yeah. The getting world record time in this is kind of annoying because there is a lot of RNG at the end. We'll explain when we get there. But yeah, like I got it like 2 weeks ago. Beat it by 2 seconds. So here's another cutscene. It's unfortunately killing Buckbeak. Poor Hagrid. This is the prelude to the Willow level. This is one of those levels where they try to really use the co-op spell mechanic that was introduced in this game. Hermione doesn't want to play nice sometimes, and you know, for you to like kill any creatures in that level, to kill most of the creatures in that level, you have to cast them together. And you'll see that sometimes, well, hopefully you won't see, but sometimes Hermione takes a little longer to lock on a target. And when they get hit, it takes a couple seconds to like recalibrate so they can lock at it again. But here we go. This is Willow.
Yeah, special shoutouts to Ron's voice actor, putting in lots of work with those noises.
So, fun fact, the skull in the really top corner of this room is a secret, so we have to cast at it. It's not a room, it's just literally casting at the skull head.
It drops a cauldron cake that we don't need.
Yeah, I'm good on cakes, so we're good. It's one of the backup cakes in case I missed one on the slide in Glacius, for example. There's another secret room. But yeah, the Alhamore and Skellies are co-op casts. This one too. All these stairs are co-op casting. Sometimes the skeletons, even though you get both casts off, they don't want to die for some reason. So that's another like wrinkle in this level.
Yeah, a lot of the co-op sections, like in this game, they're like really finicky. Like sometimes like you'll cast obviously, and then they won't die, and then you lose like so much time every time. So it's just something you just got to keep in mind. You just got to go with it.
So yeah, there's 4 skellies in this room. They spawn one by one. Take their sweet time. But then we have to get a secret in over here, and when they do die, get a couple cakes. There you could like, you can turn cast through that door while the skelly's in the room. I haven't done it successfully in a 100% run.
Yeah, the door is really thick, so it's really hard to get your spell to go all the way through and hit the chest. It's really easy to like aim at the chest and start the cast, but it misses pretty frequently.
Okay,
also,
so here's
shoutouts to the dragon box being huge.
Oh yeah, I guess you guys just saw how annoying it is to control the dragon in this game.
Oh yeah.
Once you get the dragon to turn side to side, it's like inertia. The momentum is really high, so it's like difficult to bring it back. But yeah, that was our detour and our 2 flames. You can sometimes skip these ledge grabs if you have enough speed. I didn't get any of them, unfortunately.
Gotta reset now, Cinna. No ledge grab skip. Yikes.
I'm gonna get this pumpkin just in case. Pumpkin kind of looks okay.
Door. Yeah.
Little mini ice slide for you. Gotta satisfy those tastes. Pumpkins in here. And there's a secret over here after hitting these 2 skull heads. Oh, the great thing about this game, another great thing about this game we got to mention, there's really no fall damage. If you fall from a great height, unlike HP2 where you take all the damage in the world, this game you take literally none. And it's really difficult to lose all your health in this game. If you fall down in an abyss, you just instantly respawn to like a pseudo checkpoint.
Yeah, we make jokes a lot in this game about health just being completely irrelevant, but every now and then, there's a couple of spots in this game where you can take a lot of damage without really noticing that you're taking damage. So we've had a few spots where we've just like died and been completely confused as to how we got warped to some random location in the game. And it took us years to figure out that this isn't a wrong warp, we're actually just dying.
Yeah, we actually thought we
is
were
possible.
wrong warping. Yeah, when I first ran it... Oh, see, there you go. One of the skeletons decided not to die. Okay. Yeah, it actually happened to me when I first ran this game. I thought I warped out of a secret room, but it turns out Ron died. You're fighting pixies, and I didn't notice.
Yeah, it took somebody posting a similar clip like 3 or 4 years later for us to realize what was going on.
So yeah, those skellies, that was the end of the Willow section. Here is just a bunch of plot dump.
Not a dog.
Literally in like 30 seconds, you get everything like spoken out to you.
And I feel like this section was a lot more, or like this like game cutscene was more well made than the movie version. I'm just saying.
And Scabbers. He's not a rat. He's a wizard by the name of Peter Pettigrew.
What?
Watch.
Something that I think Cinna and Say can talk more about. The cutscene, the animation of like Sirius transforming from a dog into human. You can like play it backwards by changing one of the names of the game files.
It is a video file that you can change the name and reverse the transformation in the game. So this is Dementors, the first Dementors. If you recall, we actually fight them twice. But here's a turn cast. In between waves, we can use one of the Dementors to generate an expecto cast. So when the next wave spawns, the cast will already been dealt. It is a cool little optimization. For Dementors 1, there's only 2 waves. After this level, there'll be, you know, because we're back in time, we gotta fight them again. There'll actually be 3 waves in the next section of Dementors, but for now, this is back in time. We just skipped over, you know, time turner explanations and stuff. The main thing about this level is this is probably coming up is probably one of the least consistent imp fights in the game. You can get an octo kill, or not octo kill, you can get like a pentakill. Or you can get the imps to not throw any crackers for a good like 10 seconds. It can really go either way. Yeah, after this fireball, we're gonna flame a lamp and then open the door for the imp fight. Hopefully it goes well. Collect these cakes. We need to collect those cakes.
Alright, Octoco incoming.
Does that help? Perfect. Hold tight. I'll see what's in there.
I can't get quads consistently. Hopefully I just get triples or something. Yeah, they're gonna spawn here. No, the imp left me. See how they just stand there? They're really smart. Oh, that was a bad throw. That was a really bad throw too. This is not good. I chose the wrong section. Oh no! This is really bad.
Yeah, so it is possible to get all 8 of these imps with 1 cracker throw, but it's only ever been done once and hasn't been recorded. So it's yeah, quite the feat.
Yep, that was bad. I think that goes without saying. I was just wasting a ton of time just standing there. I'm not, yeah. They're complex behavior, and he can get more consistent in fights than I can in that section.
Now we're both stuck in here.
Alright. Remember to get this cake, this card in the cauldron. You can lose runs to that. There's been times where I forget to get that card in the cauldron. And then after this, gotta do a turn cast. Oh. Some people told me to go turn left to right, right to left. I think it's preference.
Left side, best side.
Okay.
It's clear.
There's clearly factions as to which one's the better side.
Been established that the left side is supreme.
Yes, just like the left side carpe final that for some reason only two of us go for.
Right side carpe final.
You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Okay. And yeah, we just get those cakes, fly away with Buckbeak, and then we start the next section of Dementors.
Yeah, there's different factions of how to do certain tricks in this game. Like when we did maze skip back in like the Transfig challenge, like there's a front setup and a sideways setup. Like Cyna does the sideways setup, I do the front setup. Front setup's just better. It's not a big deal.
The pot jump versus wall jump
versus hedge clipping, yeah.
Okay, I got the first turn cast. I think their spawning patterns are like semi-consistent. Sometimes they deviate and you don't get the turn cast as a result.
Especially this third cycle, the Dementor positions are very consistent, but in the second cycle, they're a little random. More so because the Dementors move side to side, but yeah.
Okay, those are Dementors.
So, I guess we should start explaining stuff now because this next section is pretty dense. So, as we mentioned, one of the requirements for this game is to buy all 8 of the secret portrait passwords. So we're running up to the 7th floor to do that now. The lines that Fred and George give you when they're talking about these passwords are RNG and have pretty significantly different lengths. So there's a lot of potential for time loss here. After we buy these portraits, we're going to start the final exams. And this first final exam, the Carpe exam, is, I think, unquestionably the hardest segment of the game, regardless of what category you're playing. The Carpe final exam is cycle-based. Near the end of the challenge, there is a room with a rotating platform that rotates every 15 seconds. So all of our time saves are in segments of 15 seconds. But to get on those faster cycles, we have to do some absolutely wacky tricks to try to save, 5-10 seconds each time.
Obviously, we kind of joked on earlier about how we need to get 0 cycle Carpa final. So basically, 0 cycle Carpa final, you need everything to go absolutely perfect through the run to just barely have enough time to get enough of the currency so that we'll be able to exit Carpa final with the right amount of stuff while also catching the fastest cycle that we know is possible. And
There's a little staircase jump. We don't have to use a staircase to drop down. We just skip the trigger because those middle staircases are cutscenes. Okay.
So this final's gonna be very, very fast paced.
Oh, I immediately messed up. Oh wait. Oh no.
I think you're
better off covered it.
I think you're better off restarting.
That's fine.
Yeah, you also noticed he lowered his graphic settings going into this. It makes some pillars on the sides of the walls vanish, which makes a lot of the swings easier, and then it removes a grate halfway through the level, which saves 15 or 20 seconds.
So for all the finals, each of the finals have 5 shields that we have to collect in all, 3 of them. So you're gonna notice Cyna's gonna gonna go out of his way to collect the shield inside these rooms.
Here's the grate that is not there on low graphics.
Mm-hmm. So you can just grab the shield right away. You don't have to go all the way around the pillars. You can just spongify to the top.
Nice.
Oh, you got the fast swing.
I think I needed it because I missed the trigger to spawn.
I think this is 1 cycle.
Yeah, I missed it. Whatever.
Okay, fine. Second cycle.
Rip all you guys. I'm sorry. I didn't get 0 cycle. Please forgive. But I did get extra. I did get pumpkins that I would have had to make up later in the run. So that's the trade-off. I mean, I think for now it's not really important to get 0 cycle because you get those extra pumpkins. But here's a little couple of swings to skip some imp fights and some other fights.
like the thing about the cycle system is that there's a lot of trade-offs, like especially like there are times when like you want to save the 15 seconds, but also you might have to skip like the passy or the pumpkin passy chest that Cinna got near the end. Like
Shots
it's just
to
sort
Emmy.
of trades off.
Shouts to Emmy for finding this bunny jump on the Spongify tile.
Yeah.
But coming up is kick skip, window jump, window skip. We skip this first section. Hopefully I can get this. No pressure. Okay, good.
Mylon, you want to talk about window jump?
Yeah, so that jump he just did isn't particularly precise, but if you miss it, it costs you like 40 seconds because you have to redo the level. Which makes it incredibly nerve-wracking, which makes it a serious choke points for a lot of runners, myself included.
Yeah, and like getting the backup is you gotta get it. You're on a timer. The Spongify tile stays active for only like a certain amount of time, so you have to get the bunny back to the Spongify tile after you turn cast on it first. Yeah, because it's behind the wall.
Yeah, I think like 5 years ago, like when I was on world record pace going into Transfig final, like for this category in particular, I ended up missing window jump, and back then we didn't know about the backup strat. So basically, I had to cast in the bunny, and I had to go all the way around and do the entire level, which lost me like 1:30, and I lost world record because of it. So lots of bad memories from that strat, but obviously, like we're better at it now than we were then. So yeah. Yeah, this is Flappy Bird Simulator.
Yeah, as you can tell, these are on a cycle. It's okay.
Much more forgiving cycle than Carpe Final, but it still can make a pretty good difference.
I think your pasty count's good.
So I think, yeah, I missed a couple in that last room that I would have loved to have.
You're gonna need 282 exiting Glacius to be able to do the early 18.
Okay, so we're gonna flame this and then just move up to the top. Getting to that spot with the dragon just somehow just immediately skips the cutscene of the door opening, so we can, and then this little jump at the end skips the end final text that you normally get at the end of final exams, as you saw in Carpe Final. And then Glacius Final starts off with a lag jump, the second lag jump we do. So we skip the death trigger with the lag jump. This saves like 5 seconds, and then we just walk into the trigger that spawns us at the end of the slide. That's pretty much it. Pretty neat. But yeah, this final exam includes some weird imps.
This level's basically just like, I guess, a boss rush because there's no bosses.
Yeah,
a lot of enemies.
So the imps in this level can be particularly annoying, as you'll see later. Like,
yeah, we're gonna get salamanders, crabs, and imps and pixies all on the same level. What?
Most of the really...
What?
Oh no.
How did this happen?
Oh no.
Oh, that's a softlock.
That's new. What? Wait. No, that's the wrong file. We're good. Okay, I was gonna say that's the wrong file.
There we go.
Whatever.
There we go.
Yep, so that cost about a minute. That is a softlock that we know those can happen, but they are still very rare.
Yeah, you probably grab the save book here.
Yeah, I'm grabbing the save book.
Yeah, definitely not a this has never happened before, but
It has,
is a
just
this is
very,
quite
very
rare.
It's never happened to me. Let's say that.
I know it happened we had a tournament for this game a while back, and we had somebody like softlock there twice or something stupid.
Very rare, Harry. Very rare.
Very rare.
Very rare. We'll get into that meme later on.
Alright, let's try this again. Okay. Yeah, those white crabs, they're basically, I don't know, are an artifact of having to replay a level. Make sure you get these shields because sometimes you're like if you stand right underneath their hitbox, you actually won't collect the shield, but the platform is still lower. But you need the shield for 100%, so you want to stand clear a little bit. Hopefully, it doesn't softlock here. I mean, this is like the other FPS related softlock I remember. Okay, we're good.
This is probably a good time for a donation or two. We're gonna have a lot of downtime coming up too, so.
Okay, sounds absolutely fantastic. Right, okay, we have received $15 from Norsey, who says, "How is time flying so fast when such amazing events are happening? Keep being awesome. Good luck to runners and collect all of the beans." Thank you so much indeed for that very generous donation. Please keep them coming in. Remember, they're all benefiting the Alzheimer's Fonden, Swedish Alzheimer's Foundation. We're doing fantastically well. We're actually not that far off. We're only about $370 off the 28,000 mark. So let's just see if we can get a bit of a push and see if we can get that by the end of the run. That would be absolutely fantastic. Let's see if we can do that. Thank you so much again for your generous donations.
Alright, that imp section was not good. I was hopefully... Okay, we gotta collect these pumpkins at the end. We'll see what my final pumpkin count is. Exactly 282. Okay.
That's perfect.
That's perfect. Now, we're not out of the woods yet with the counts, but we're on good shape to do some strats if the game allows us to. So, buying cards in this game, we have to buy 20.
Speak for yourself.
I think, yeah, we have to buy 20 cards. We can buy them from a girl trader or a guy trader. It turns out there is a time difference on average buying wizard cards from the two of them because of the RNG line dialogue. And it turns out that on average buying from a girl trader is faster. But the problem is every time you load a map, they change. So we don't want to buy from him. But you know, when I load into this map the next time, that could change into a girl trader. Like they are randomly generated, but they're in the same locations. So that's one aspect of the RNG. So ideally, the guy trader is fastest if you can get him to say the fastest dialogue every single time you buy the card. But that's not gonna happen. Go ahead.
So the discovery that the girl traders have faster lines is actually a pretty recent one. The main reason is there is exactly one trader in the game where it isn't RNG, whether they're male or female, and it just so happens to be the one that we always bought from in 100%. So it just took years for us to actually think of, hey, maybe these dialogue lines might be a little bit different. We should look into that.
But note, different languages don't affect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just so happens that the one trader that never changes, the one right next to like the Fred and Georgia shop, that's where you end the game at. And so like we just never thought about using a girl trader until someone mentioned in chat one day. And then we went on a 3-hour spree of trying to figure out if the voice lines are making it worth it, but it turns out it is. It saves around 10 seconds on average.
Alright, you guys want to explain this pixie side game as well?
You're just killing pixies.
And hope to God that they don't go down the well. Yeah, the locations where the pixies can spawn and where they move is pretty random. Sometimes they'll decide they want to go down the middle of the well. It's still possible to hit them when they do that, it just gets a lot trickier. And sometimes this fight can softlock at the very end. It'll... like, the bar will show 0 health, but it won't trigger the end of the stage. One of those things, again, we don't really know why it happens, but it's very frustrating when it does. Yeah, we just have to clear out 5 waves of pixies to get 5 cards. and then we can move
Okay,
on.
we're good. Sometimes I like to jump as I hit the pixies. I don't know why. It feels like it's better.
Gets you a better angle, lets you
Better angles.
aim further down the well.
It's placebo.
It's all superstition.
The collision on the well is also really wonky. So if you have a pixie that's like standing in the middle of the well, in between like the two pillars, it can be really hard to hit them.
I'm pretty sure the collision of the well is affected by world detail, right? Or object detail?
Somewhat. It's we don't know for sure. Like I like to think that like 16-bit color depth makes a difference, but who knows, right?
Yeah. So I mentioned there's a 25-minute time save in any percent. This is actually one of those segments that trick saves. We used to have to do all of these little random mini games in an any percent run. So any percent was absolutely saved when we found that. It was a huge help.
Yeah, as Mylan mentioned, if you thought this was like part of the 100% of the game, no, this is normally part of the just beat the game part of the game.
Yeah, this is required for seeing the credits.
Normally to beat the game.
So in the past, what we would do is we had a category called Better Any Percent, where we'd get to the McGonagall and Dumbledore cutscene as fast as possible, but we just wouldn't finish the game. Like, we would just spawn in and, like, it just wouldn't take us to the credits. But luckily, a person in the community called Tedder ended up figuring out that there is a trigger next to the door that you could just jump into once you, like, spawn, and then it would just take you to the credits. So, like, obviously, shoutouts to Tedder. Yeah. We no longer have to do Pixies, Monster Book, or
flying in the
yeah, so like 80% of the game before was actually part of any percent. If you could believe that. So we're thankful for that 25-minute time save. So any percent can actually be an 8%.
Yeah, somebody in the
and I do all this
ESA
collectathon stuff.
Someone in the ESA chat mentioned that the spell icons for Rick Decembra change in between HP 2 and 3. For some reason, they took the like arrowhead Rick Decembra icon from HP 2 and turned it into Depulso instead of Rick Decembra for HP 3, and then gave it this weird diamond shape. Not sure why they decided to do that, but
yeah, no idea.
Coming up, this is Buckbeak. It's sort of an auto-scroller, I'd say. Like, it's just, you gotta just go through the rings and everything. It's funny, because, like, this second, like, ring challenge is actually harder than the third one. So we have to do 5 of these. Like, the second one's actually, like, harder than the third one in the sense that, like, you have a higher chance of failing if you're not careful. Because the third one's pretty much free, even if you take the fastest path through it. But here, it's like, you have to be a little careful.
The thing about the third route is that there's so many rings in your path anyway that it's pretty hard to miss enough. So by third route, we mean blue rings, which is coming up right now. Green rings was the second course, because we did white rings for the first course back in the beginning of the run.
The first few ring courses are also very easy compared to the last few, in that there's a lot of leeway on the number of rings you can collect. Like, in the first one, you have to collect, like, not even half of the rings that spawn. Whereas in the final one, you have to get 56 out of 59 rings, and some of them are in some really awful places. So it can be pretty tricky, especially for newer runners, to get all of them.
Sometimes when you cut corners, the game will literally, like, not let you, like, go towards a ring. Like, it'll literally shoot you to the other side. Like, it's very, very finicky. And it's like, I don't know, we've all lost a few runs at some point to red rings. The red ring of death, as we like to call it.
Red rings of death.
Red rings of death.
Okay, here's a little recent optimization found. We can take this little shortcut. Shoutouts to Flo. I think he's the one who found it.
Oh yeah, shoutouts to Menno too. He mentioned in chat. There's at the end of each of these flying courses, you'll notice that we actually hit like escape and quit out of the flying course.
Immediately,
the game gives you the card as soon as you go through this final ring, so we can just quit out.
Escape now. Go to menu and then click play. Takes us to the next course right away. Okay, so this is the second to last course. The yellow rings. The maximum we can miss is 5, but our route should be pretty simple. For some reason, unlike the other courses, Buckbeak just gets a lot of speed from the jump. Unlike the first 3, where we actually had to bonk on the invisible, like top of the level box to actually get some speed. So you'll see there's a lot more rings, but there's less rings, but well, there's more rings, but we can miss less. That's what I'm saying. Also, we can ride on the water. It's weird. Some platforms like the beams, Buckbeak just stops moving when you touch them. Others, like the bottom of this hallway coming up, you just glide across like it's water. Don't get hit by the beams. They make a funny sound they do, but
A beam.
a beam. We don't want to lose speed. We can miss that ring. So you see, like the rings are way off this side. We don't want to get.
There's a good fellow.
There is still some optimizing to be done, I think, through these courses. As you can see, I'm gonna hit 49 pretty quickly with some extras. Also, I'm on low graphics, so a lot of trees have despawned, which was really helpful.
It makes the level a lot easier.
Makes it a lot easier.
Hello, Harry. Back for some more hippogriff riding, are you?
But yeah, here you go. Last course, red rings of death. Can miss 3 at most.
This is the Xbox 360 level.
Superman 64 much?
So how many world record pace runs have you lost to red rings?
I'd say a couple.
I'd say a couple, yeah.
Mostly just because of brain lapses. Like I'm just not. Because like you said, this is like a kind of an auto scroller. So you're like cruising through the first 4 courses, and then you get to this part, and then because of like the Buckbeak physics and how you can turn corners is similar to the Transfig Dragon, where you just lose control. You end up missing like a ring, and then it just wakes you up suddenly, and then you're like all of a sudden you're 2 rings off your route, and you have to like focus more.
The most nerve-wracking is if you like lose like 2 rings early, you have to rely on the game not screwing you later when you're trying to get the other ones, because it can happen where it'll literally push you off
Like
the
here,
course of a ring.
There's just an invisible like thing that just stop you from falling down there, and I didn't even press any inputs. Like a lot of like invisible corners and edges.
Pretty sure you still got the ring there, right?
Yeah. I do. I get the ring there because the hitbox is very lenient on all these levels.
You can clip it with your feet.
Exactly. Like the way you know you got it is the sound it makes. But yeah, we're good. We got the rings.
Yeah, you Ariana Grande through these rings.
Okay,
7
so
rings.
we've done all the side challenges, got all their cards. So now all that's left is to do everything else. Buy all the rest of the passwords, buy all the wizard cards, and finish getting all the secrets. So here is the second Peeves fight that we're going to quickly skip. Remember how I said it was easy? Yeah, we're just going to skip this cutscene and just walk out of the castle again and walk back in.
Yeah, so at the very beginning of the run, we did that trick to get over this grate. That grate's supposed to come back up when we enter that Peeves fight, but because it's already up, the game lowers it instead, and we can just completely skip the fight.
Because it's basically a toggle.
So we're in the dungeons. There's actually 2 secret rooms in the dungeons that require passwords. That's why we bought 6 before we started Carpe Final, so we can work our way up with the first 6 floors.
Like again, it's because of the fact that we don't have access to portrait passwords, we can't warp between floors as easily. So we have to account for it by doing as linear of a path as possible, and that would mean like obviously buying 6 portraits early so we can take the bottom 5 floors as we just climb up. So yeah.
Also, remember when I said the crab physics were terrible? This exaggerates them to the max.
Yeah, this room is weird. They bounce super high.
Fly in the air. It's ridiculous. That was good though. I like that. Good
got
spawns.
Good crabs.
Yeah, you don't want them to walk away from the crate. You want them to walk towards the crate so you can just hit them one hit.
But we want a girl trader right outside.
We didn't get it.
Oh no.
So.
Okay.
There's 2 more chances. I'm not gonna worry about that room. There's a girl or there's a trader to the room to our right we missed, but it's like not in the route because it's slow.
Maybe there's one in main hall.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
There's main hall.
So our last hope is 4th
floor.
floor, Bibble floor. If it is, we can maybe get away with buying 19 cards out of 20.
I'd say go 18.
I forget how many I need to actually get 19 in one go.
You could probably get 19, but I think probably 18's fine.
Shoutouts to when this room was in 90%.
Yes, we had to do this in 90% once upon a time.
Yes, Trader RNG is a Monka-S Nixo. So there's a lot of routing put into like figuring out the best way to buy stuff given like when you first see a girl trader. But obviously like we haven't seen one yet, so like who knows, maybe we won't get to see the strats and Cyna will just lose 10 seconds.
Or he'll just
the
get
guy
perfect
trader,
RNG.
Yeah, just get perfect RNG and have it be faster than
and save exactly 1 second over the average.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a secret we had to get. We just enter the room and exit, and that counts.
Yeah, there's another hidden room on that floor, but for some reason the game doesn't count it as a secret. So.
This room, you can soft lock it. Another soft lock potential in this room. I hate it when they do that. Just don't even look at you. Okay. We don't want to hit these crabs in the hole or in the trap at the same time. That causes the soft lock.
Do we get the funny cauldron?
I do not get the funny cauldron.
For some reason, very rarely when you collect that last cauldron cake, it'll just get stuck above your head. Like, it'll still count as collected, but it's just sitting there as you're running around. Very silly looking.
Okay, here's our last chance to get a girl trader and save some time. Yes! And we get Bibble first try! Okay, so the Bibble meme was that sometimes the portraits don't want to open the first time you say like the incantation password. So you have to like walk back into the portrait and say it, and hopefully it wants to open. That's the whole Bibble meme, that you can just lose time randomly. Gratefully that open first try. And we get a girl trader so we can buy 18 of the 20 cards right now.
According to Liam, we can get 19.
Can we? Okay.
Yeah, he said 320 or 330 and you're at 349.
Yeah.
Good. So this is actually the ideal route. Or not ideal, but this is like best case scenario with the girl trader route edition. So this is great. I like this. But yeah,
I mean,
RNG,
we still trade with the OG Scottish trader guy. Just
but only like 1 or 2 cards.
Only 1 or 2 times.
So like I said, RNG is the line before you get the card, and the line after you get the card. The 2 lines after you get the card.
Yeah, rip the OG Scottish trader guy. We buy 1 card from him, Nick said, don't worry.
Wait, what did I start with? I forget how many did I start with.
You started with 349.
No, like card count. What was card count?
I'm not sure.
This is 4th floor, right?
This is 5th floor. Oh yeah, 4th floor.
It's 45.
So I get the 64.
Thanks a lot. Fancy buying a collector's
I think you go to 64, yeah.
Okay.
65, 60.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. That's the right. If you're buying 19, then that's correct.
Collector's card, Harry.
Great, it's a deal.
Cheers, Harry.
But yeah, this is an opportune time for donations as well. We're just gonna be sitting here buying cards.
It's a deal.
Fantastic. Nothing like buying cards. Okay. We have received a $5 donation from Shoshi19 without any comment. But thank you very much indeed for that generous donation. And I'd just like to remind everyone again that you are watching ESA Winter 2021. We're raising money for Alzheimer Fund and the Swedish Alzheimer's Foundation with $27,635 raised. So please keep those donations coming in. We've got a little bit more time on this run, so let's see if we can get closer to that 28,000. Thank you very much indeed.
I'll buy it.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Thank you guys for donating as
Wanna
well.
buy a collector's card, Harry?
You've got
That was a good line. We want fast lines.
Time.
5 more cards to go.
Hey, you.
Somebody mentioned the music. Shoutouts to Jeremy Sewell for
Jeremy Soule. Oh,
writing
so
the
good.
HP 1, 2, and 3 soundtracks. Same guy that did a lot of the Elder Scrolls games.
The soundtrack is so good they use it in like most of the HP games in this series. It's reused a lot because it's that good.
Hey, Potter.
The HP 1 through 3 were the peak of the HP games. Great music, overall like good enough game design and everything. So it's a good
Okay,
time.
Do you collect cards?
I have.
I've got a rare one for sale.
How much is this?
great. It's a deal.
See you next time.
I need to think how many cakes or how many pumpkins I need leaving 5th floor.
Sounds good. I'll buy it.
Okay, yeah, that brings up an
Okay.
interesting thing about 5th floor.
I need 30 pumpkins leaving 5th floor.
Yeah, you need 30. It's like
So
really
I need 21 more. I need these 2 pumpkins, I think.
They're funny because we only recently found out that like we'll see in the 5th floor you have to cast on knights to get pumpkins. We only recently found out that it's actually RNG how many pumpkins it gives you. So like unfortunately Cinna learned the hard way that it is actually RNG because he got a super duper low roll on pumpkins in this 5th floor, and then as a result like he didn't have enough to like buy like all of the remaining cards needed. And so, like, we don't talk about it, though.
I think I'm good.
You're probably fine.
So that was what that all those pumpkin spawning meant is that I don't have to get extra pumpkins in 6th floor secret, which is where I would get them if I somehow was off route to this point. That's those would the extras come from. If I like, get 0 cycle and carpet final, that's where I would get extra pumpkins. So that's like the trade-off.
All right.
So these are the last 2 portraits that we will enter shortly. You see that card in the corner? That's this 80th or that's the 75th card, I think.
Nice card.
But we have to get the first 74 before we can get that card.
I'll take it.
So we're at 66.
That's a highly priced collector's card.
Great. It's a deal.
There's a couple ways you can do the routing in the shop. So here's a secret. Really short, sweet.
Fortuna Major. Alahamora.
And now we go back and we enter the last 2 secret rooms, collect their cards,
Stafflejack.
and collect the rest of the pumpkins we need to buy the rest of the cards.
Alahamora.
Because we're done with cakes. We don't need cakes anymore. It's all about pumpkins and beans. I have the wrong order.
Imagine being undercaked yet over pumpkined.
What the? Okay. Alhomora doesn't want to work sometimes in the game. The hitbox is weird. That's fine. Yeah, all these knights we're skipping because we don't need them. We have the counts. There's a... Yep, get the card. Oh, get the card. No, no. Don't want to get hit. Just kind of moving around. Get all those pumpkins. Actually, we don't need to get that spongify. Okay. That was 6th floor. 1 more floor of secret room. Hopefully it opens first try. Okay, good. Wow. I guess I don't think any of them I had to redo. That's pretty lucky. It's not even RNG. It's just lucky.
Yeah.
Because it's not supposed to happen in any way.
We don't know why it happens. Like, we still don't know. We have no way of knowing.
We've had many theories on different ways to make them more consistent, like looking in different directions or stuff like that, and nothing seems to work.
Like, we know that if it doesn't work the first try, you can, like, turn all the way around, walk a little bit back, and then do it again, and it makes it a little better. Not lie.
Ooh. I trusted my teammates, and they let me down. Try to cast that chest early. That's why you don't trust your teammates.
And Harry's like Steph Curry this season. Crazy.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That was it for the passwords. Now we just have to buy one more card from this trader, and you'll know you bought all the cards from these students because once you do, they're gonna simply just walk away. They're like, okay, there's my stash. I'm done. It's peace.
He just walks away.
Hi, Fred. Hi, George. We relieved Draco Malfoy.
Okay, these are the last four.
I'll take it.
Can we get very rares?
So, no,
I want very rares.
that's the longest line you can get. We don't want those.
These are good voice lines. Come on, give us a bad one.
These are great voice lines.
Are you serious?
This is what I needed.
This run would be
we got it. We got
very nutty
We got it.
if we didn't have, or this would be a really good run.
Yes,
we didn't have the soft lock.
Yeah, this is
We
actually
can get
really
the Harry
good
Potter
one.
Wizard card 75, but
Very solid run.
we get an extra beam bonus room.
Oh, brain.
This is about the 1 minute warning for time, by the way.
Yes, 1 minute warning for time. Okay. This is where we collect the last 5 wizard cards. And unlike the other beam bonus rooms, this is not time based, so we can leave whenever we want. So we're gonna get these cards and leave immediately.
Then you should stay here so you can stay on ESA Marathon as long as possible.
Yeah, that fun moment as a kid of I finally get to empty the beam bonus room just for it to not matter at all. There is nothing left to spend your beans on.
Alright, we're good. Now we just go to the end. We're going straight to the end. We have everything we need. Now we just gotta visit Dumbledore, see we got everything, and leave the castle, and now it'll be time. So hold on. In like 3 seconds. Time.
Well
GG's.
done, all of you. You've completed your 3rd year requirements.
And as you can see, let me bring up the achievement list. We got all the challenge shields, all the cards from the encounters, portraits. Bullets not shown here secrets, but secrets are accounted.
Absolutely splendid.
And yeah, that is 100%.
What you did for serious
Now we can leave. Now we can graduate from 3rd year. I mean, we could have done it earlier, but we wanted everything.
Do try and behave yourselves during the summer holidays.
I guess we're just like one of the last students to graduate. Apparently, maybe. But yeah, get a couple cutscenes here to end the run. I would like to thank Myelin and Saker Z for joining me on the commentary. Appreciate you guys. Shoutouts to the HP community for showing up in numbers for not only this run, but for Nixo's HP2 run as well. Thank you to ESA for allowing us to showcase these games. If you enjoyed what you saw, you can go follow me. I run not only this HP game, I run other Harry Potter games as well. So if this intrigued you at all, it would be appreciated. Check it out. And if you want to learn these games, join the Harry Potter Speedrun Discord. Dumbledore's Army. Not only for the PC games, but console games and the handheld games, all of the games. There's a lot of different versions, so if you're interested, join the Discord. And yeah, anything left to add, guys?
That's about it for me.
That's about it. All right.
Okay, well, thank you very much indeed, Cynaschism, for that absolutely fantastic run there. Thank you very much indeed for the awesome commentary. Before we go to a quick intermission, we've received $120 from Drachnon, who says, here's my donation towards the 28k goal. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much indeed for that. And again, that was an absolutely fantastic run. Please stay tuned. We do have another run coming up very shortly, something a bit different next time. We've got Eminem's Shell Shocked with King Rhodes TN. So we're going to go over to an intermission and we'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.